Hey, my name is Cedric, and in this video, I'm going to show you how you can create images or graphics using AI. So there's actually this platform called dall-e 2, and you can type whatever you want inside the little search bar, and it's going to generate what you ask it to do. So if you say, create a monkey with a funny hat, it's actually going to do exactly that. But you can also do other things like changing existing images. So let's say you have a picture and you want to remove a certain element out of that picture or potentially add something inside your picture. This does exactly that using AI. Now the project is called dall-e 2 and it's the second version. dall-e 1 was actually released in 2021, so about just a year after they released the version 2, which is honestly a lot better than the version 1, and that's exactly why I've decided to make a video about it, because honestly AI is really something that interests me, and we're really getting close to the point where we can actually just maybe use AI to generate graphics and images and not have to rely so much on Photoshop and all these other softwares out there to make changes, and that's also time consuming. So really excited to share dall-e 2 with you guys, and that is actually an open AI company. So if ever you've worked with like AI generated text, that's actually a project called GTP3, and it's also OpenAI that owns that. So you've probably dealt or heard about like AI generated text, so this means you're probably somewhat familiar with some of the work that OpenAI has done. So now I'm on their website, and I'm actually going to leave that link in the description of this video, and if you sign up, it's pretty simple, it's completely free, and you're going to be able to get to this page. Now there's two main features that this platform offers as I'm recording this video. One of them is this one, so you can literally type anything here and it's going to generate an image, and we actually see a lot of examples. So if I hover over this image, this is what this person typed, and then that was the outcome. So as you can see, it can create some really cool graphs and images, but that's actually not what I'm going to show you right away. I'm going to come back to this section later in this video, but I think that this needs a little bit more work before a company could potentially start using that for their Facebook ads or maybe their Google ads. And what I want to show you is this feature right here. So I'm going to click on my little icon at the top, and I'm going to click on try out painting. So here's how it works. You can just select and upload an image here. I actually went on Google Image and grabbed this image of a shag mat. Let me just make it bigger so you can see a little bit better. Now I can save it. Now let me just put this up here so it's on the frame, and let's pretend that I have a shag mat company, so I'm an e-com store, and I took this photo shoot during the rainy season, so that's why in the image we see rain boots. Now it's winter, and let's say that I have a Facebook ad carousel, and in all my other images in my carousel we actually don't have any rain boots, so it kind of doesn't make sense, and maybe I want to remove it, or maybe I want to add a different product. Well, we can actually do that with dall-e, but before dall-e, what were our options? Well, our options were to either book another time to redo the photo shoot to have an image without the boots, or potentially send the image to someone that is competent with Photoshop so that they can Photoshop the boots out. But with dall-e, we can actually just use the eraser here and remove the boots, and I can type in blend here, and as you can see, it blended. And I can also look at different versions to see if one will look better than the other. I actually kind of like this one here, and what I can do now is I can actually just add a chair. So I'm gonna go ahead and accept this, and I'm gonna hit my little eraser here. I'm gonna go right here, and I'm gonna add a chair. So just like that, and I'm gonna say chair. And here we go, we have a chair. I could actually potentially change it to a different chair. That one actually kind of looks okay. So the only thing that I notice here is that we have a little white space here, but I could actually just simply add that in. Wouldn't be too hard, but I can also just crop it, and that would be good to go. And I can upload that inside my Facebook ad carousel. And guys, we started with a picture of the shag mat with some rain boots, but now we removed them and added a chair. So it's pretty cool, and you could also do the same thing and maybe add an image of a dog or an image of a cat. And usually we find that when you add a picture of like a dog or a cat beside your products, that image usually tends to perform better on platforms like Facebook and Instagram. So those are things that you can now test without having to send that out to a graphic designer or actually needing to take the photo shoot yourself, right? So I think that's really, really cool. But if you were to ask me, Cedric, like, is that now what you use to edit all the images and create the graphics graphics for your clients? No, we still don't really use that yet. We still use our graphic designer just because I don't think this tool is fully ready for an agency like us. I think we can just do a better final product in-house. But for someone that doesn't have a graphic designer, or if you just want to play with it, I think it's a really great tool. But it's crazy the amount of progress they made in 1 year. And that's kind of one of the reasons I wanted to make this video, because I think that in a year from now, maybe it's going to be called dall-e 3 at this point, it's probably going to be ready for us to just type whatever we want, and then it's going to make the graphic that we can use for our Facebook or Instagram ads. So again, my goal is just to make you aware that this tool exists and you can start playing with it, and hopefully you're going to be able to use some of these creatives for your marketing campaigns. Now what I want to do is I'm just going to show you some different examples of what this feature of this tool can do. So on the screen you're going to see images that people uploaded, and then they were able to add items and then remove items. And then once I've shown you some of these examples, I'm going to show the other feature that I think, depending on your company and what you do, those will be really valuable to you. Now I just want to show you some other examples of things that you can do. So I'm back on dall-e's website, and if I scroll down right here, we see this image, and let me just move on to this one. If I click this, this is actually adding a dog, and you could actually ask dall-e to change the positioning of the dog. So let's say you want the dog to be more on the side and looking at you. You can try different variations. So it's the same dog, but it does different things with the images. And let's look at another example here. So if you look at the painting here, so you can actually tell it, hey, the painting in the back, like change it. So if you look, it changes. It's different now, like the dog is like looking at the moon. Now it's a different kind of dog, and again, that's a painting. And one thing I did notice with dall-e 2, it's really good with paintings and art. So if ever that's your industry, I think you're really gonna love this tool. And then even have other examples here. So that is a couch here, which I guess would also really be good if you're in the real estate industry. You could potentially add a couch in an empty room to make it look like a livable area. And then here, let's actually look at different examples. So same image, so that's probably an image that the user uploaded, and then you can describe what kind of couch you want. So look at this. This looks amazing. Like if I were to look at this image, I wouldn't really know that this was actually created using AI. So guys, this is really cool. Now I want to show you the other feature of dall-e. So I'm going to go back to the main page, and I'm just going to leave this. Now this is probably what they're most known for, and you can type whatever you want and it's going to generate the image. Now this is not really going to be good if ever you're an e-com company and you're looking to generate graphics, because we know that what performs best on Facebook and Instagram are like UGC, or if ever you're using like a static image, it might be like a carousel. So if ever you're using dall-e 2, it's probably going to be like the other feature that I showed you earlier for something like a Facebook or Instagram ad. But this can be really useful if ever you're potentially designing t-shirt and you need some ideas, or maybe you're, I don't know, making YouTube videos and you want to create something that doesn't exist. Because you could probably just go on like a stock image website and type whatever you want and find an image, and then you can use that. But if ever what you have in mind doesn't exist, for example, this is a good example right here, like an avocado sitting on a chair, you're not gonna find an image like that on a platform like Pixabay, right? It's just not gonna be there because it doesn't exist. So here you can type whatever you want, and I'm gonna hit the surprise me option here just so that we can see it. So here's what I'm looking for. Now let's hit generate. So that's pretty cool, and this does not exist. And I've tried multiple times, like inspecting the image and going on Google Image to see if that image actually exists, but it's not there. So let's hit surprise me again. Right, like that's pretty cool. And you can again type whatever you want, and then it's gonna generate it for you. Now one thing just to keep in mind is that if ever you're typing like change someone's face, I noticed that the AI isn't really good with eyes and mouth and nose, and if ever you try to do something to an actual human face, the face is gonna look a little bit weird. So again, that's what I'm saying, it's not fully ready for a Facebook ad or an Instagram ad. But one way that I think you could potentially use this tool is, let's say for someone like me, I'm making a YouTube video and I'm mentioning how this Facebook ad strategy, if you're using that, is basically like flushing money down the toilet. Well, I could literally type flushing money down the toilet, and let's see what we have here. We literally have an image here and here where it's like money being flushed down the toilet. And if ever I can click generate again, and it's gonna generate different versions, and I can create things that don't exist. Now, I'm sure I could probably find an image on Pixabay of money being flushed down the toilet. And some of these images you can see kind of look weird, but let's say I want a beach with pink water and black sand, let's say. Right, so you can see it can create the beach. So we see the water is pink and then the sand is black. Again, you could recreate that in Photoshop, but now you don't need to. You can just type it and then they're gonna give it to you. And you might actually not find that on a platform like Pixabay. Again, this would be really good for B-roll or maybe for like a landing page. If you need like a specific image, you can create the image here, or the design. If ever you have a t-shirt company and instead of using something like Photoshop to create like the design of your t-shirt, you could potentially write a few sentences here and it's going to create the design and the graphic for you. And maybe that's not your final product, but you could use those to generate ideas. And that's another way that I think that companies can actually use dall-e 2. So guys, here you have it, how to generate creatives, graphics, and make changes using AI. And just remember, I don't think that you should be using that for all your creatives. I think that maybe if you're lucky, you could potentially use dall-e 2 for maybe 10% of your creatives. But my goal really with this video is to keep you in the loop, and so that you really know what are the progress right now that we're making with technology, because honestly it's unbelievable. And when I saw this for the first time, I was amazed. It was a little bit like trying virtual reality for the first time. I thought it was so crazy, and again, wanted to share it with you guys, but just wait a year, wait 2 years, and I actually do think that this will be the future of how we're generating and editing creatives. But guys, that is it for this video. Bye for now.